Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Matthew Steinke, and I review movies because that's what I do best. And today we are going to be taking a quick movie review at Sam Mendes' 1917. Now, 1917 stars George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman, and the plot revolves around two British soldiers who are tasked with delivering the message to another battalion of an ambush attack, and they have to travel across different countrysides and travel all the way to this battalion that is held snugly in German enemy lines. So, let's start this review. What did I think were the positives on this film? Well, there's a lot of positives. This movie really floored me. I guess just to get through them quickly, I think the acting is spectacular. These two actors, George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman, they're relatively unknown, and I think they give performances that are going to put them on the map into mainstream Hollywood. They are spectacular in this movie. I really think they give off that vibe of what it really must have been like to be in World War I. I know they weren't actually in World War I, but I think they gave realistic performances of these characters, and they really did a good job pulling it off. I think Sam Mendes, as well, who was the director of this film, deserves the Best Director Oscar this year at the Oscars, because Greta Gerwig wasn't nominated, and I think that besides Sam Mendes, she deserved it as well. But Sam Mendes does a fantastic job directing this. I really think he does. He also co-wrote the screenplay, and the screenplay is not only tight, and the plot is good, and the pacing flows well, but Mendes' direction is spectacular. Where the camera moves, how they're acting, how scenes take place, their length, what's happening in the scenes. He does a really good job with all of that. But I really think the reason this movie floored me was because of its atmosphere and the chokehold grip of suspense and tension that this film had for the entire movie. And I think there's one reason that it did that, and that's because of Roger Deakins, who was the cinematographer on this film. He deserves the Oscar for Best Cinematography. It's easy to see why. This film, if you don't know, looks like it was shot on one continuous shot. And it wasn't. It was sneakily put together in the editing room, but it really looks like it, and that's why this film is so great. Because from frame one, once it starts, you're in the world. I've never seen a movie that has transported me into the world that the characters inhabit so much like this film has. There's a scene, no spoilers, where they're climbing up over these trenches into the battlefield, and the camera slowly follows them up. And right when they went over and it showed the battlefield, I was gripping my popcorn bucket. I was on the edge of my seat because it was so good. It was so immersive. It was so realistic. It felt like you were there. And that's why this film is so good, because as we get to know these characters and as we travel with them and as we get to stand by their side and watch them run and go through trenches and swim and jump and fire and run away from different people who are chasing them, we feel like we're right there with them. We haven't experienced war, most of us, I hope, and neither have the actors in real life, but Sam Mendes does the direction so well, and Roger Deakins is such a good cinematographer that it really just pulls you in, and you feel like you're in the movie with these characters. It's suspenseful. It's glorious to watch, honestly. I wish I could have gotten to see it on IMAX. Hopefully it does, so that I can go see it on IMAX, because the cinematography is beautiful. It's a brutal film, but I think it's a really fantastic experience. I think this film is truly wonderful. I think it's a masterpiece. For negatives, I can't find any. I was riveted for this entire film. There was not a moment that I was not riveted. It throws you into the horrors of war, and it gives you moments to breathe at the exact right time. And even those moments to breathe are just as engaging as walking through the battlefield. It's fantastic. It's an amazing film. It's a great experience. Is it brutal? Yeah. Like I said, it's already brutal. It's war. It's not going to be lighthearted. But I think they handle it respectfully. They don't exploit the violence in this film. The violence is what it is in real life. It's horrible. But the main selling point here is the cinematography. It's done so well. It's so immersive. You feel like you're there. Every scene of the film feels like you're walking alongside these characters. When they're getting shot out, bullets have never sounded as terrifying as they did in this movie. I mean, the person I was watching it with jumped when they got fired at because the film's so immersive and you feel like you're right there with them. The camera movement is so smooth, it's so fluid, it really does look like it's in one take. It looks like it was really in 1917 and that they just had a documentary following them around. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I can't praise it enough. It's wonderful. It's a masterpiece. I think it deserves Best Picture. Is it my favorite film this year? No, it's not my favorite. But for a film that deserves Best Picture, this is it. I love other movies more than I love this movie, but this film deserves Best Picture. Just because it is truly a film that has given me the best experience in a theater that I've ever had. A lot of people say we go to the movies to be immersed in them and to be introduced to new worlds. Yes, and other films have done that, but no film has done that realistically as this film has. It was like the boundaries of the theater walls went away and the screen just engulfed you. I mean, it was fantastic. I really thought it was great, and I can't recommend it highly enough. I'm giving this film 5 out of 5. This is a masterpiece. So if you haven't seen it, absolutely go check it out. It's a wonderful, wonderful film. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Leave some requests in the comments down below, and as always, go watch movies. Bye-bye.